Hey guys, I a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, I put together this review of I got contacted by a guy from Italy, an Italian teacher. His name's Stefano Lodola, and he put together this course called Ripeti Con Me, and it's normally when people email me, and I get this like every week now on my site. They'll email me and say, "Oh, hey, I've got this great course, this great book, or whatever. Can you review it or can you promote it?" Usually, I kind of I've gotten to the stage now where I don't really pay much attention to that stuff. This one kind of jumped out at me because it was a Glossika. It was designed to be a Glossika improvement. Okay, so it's meant to build on Glossika, and I'm a big fan of the Glossika method. I like what Mike Campbell's done. He's a passionate guy. I know he's I know that Glossika is something he's kind of been working at for a very very long time, decades, and I've made use of it like when I was in Russia. And so anyway, I was keen to just have a look at this just because of what it wanted it what it claimed to be. So and anyway, you can read my review here. I'm not going to go right through the whole thing, but some of the things that Stefano pointed out that Glossika fails in is the Italian speakers talk too fast. The translations don't always match up. This is stuff that I can't really verify because I'm not like my Italian is. I've lived there a couple of times. I frequent northern Italy. I've got a lot of friends there, but my Italian is probably still like A2 level, if that. So I'm not really able to go through and verify things like this. He says Glossika uses a regional Italian accent. Um, I don't know what regional accent. I kind of wish I wish he'd expand on this further because, I'd like to know where that person is from, and why does that matter? I know that in Lombardia, where I spend a lot of time, they have a regional accent there. I know that in Sicily it's the same thing, and but I'm not really aware of like compared to say Arabic, for example, where it's a big deal. I don't know how important it is, and so I'd like to know more about why he saw that as an issue, and what regional accent does Glossika use, and what does he use? He says, awkward Italian sentences, inadequate pauses between the sentences, and sentences are too long. These are some of the things that he said. There are others as well. And so anyway, I just wanted to take a quick look, and this is basically what it is. It's I don't know if you remember, Glossika used to be it was kind of like a publishing house. So it was a book they would sell books, and they'd come with MP3s just like this. And then Glossika moved on to the SaaS model, the software as a service model. So now they have a web app and it's a subscription service. Whereas Ripeti Con Me is still doing, what Glossika used to do. Um, the difference is, and yeah, I mean, you can talk about the quality of the recordings and everything, but the main difference, and this is where I said it diverges completely from Glossika, is that Glossika uses Mike Campbell developed what he calls an algorithm, a syntactical algorithm. So it's not explicitly teaching grammar. It's not explicitly teaching patterns. A lot of people complain because they're like, what? It doesn't really make sense that Glossika just goes through these random sentences, and they don't really seem to follow any kind of order. It's kind of weird. But there is I guess Mike Campbell has developed um, uh, his own pattern algorithm that's kind of based on frequency. I don't know. I guess it's still a little bit of a mystery as to how exactly he's done that, but it works. Excuse me. Um, but anyway, where this diverges is that Ripeti Con Me kind of follows more of a grammatical textbook order. So like this is lesson one, say Italiano, and it's just basically the verb to be. You can see immediately that this is what he's trying to convey. It's not unclear. and then you go to the next one, or sete. This is verb to have, and so it's the same. The sentences are kind of recorded the same, similar kind of way, but there's a much more obvious flow to it, I guess. Like you can see where it's going. Um, I don't. One of the things I said in my review was, how is this any different to just basically plucking a bunch of sentences out of a chapter, out of each chapter of a grammar book, and calling it a day? Like, but it's. I think it's still like it's still good. I mean, I would use this. I would totally use these sentences, but it's. I'm not really sure if it's accurate to say that it's like Glossika. Maybe it's kind of influenced by it, but very very different in its style or in its structure. One of the things I talked about too was that where is it? Anyway, it's in here somewhere. Yeah, innovation versus imitation. I talked about the ethical, I guess the ethical ramifications or the ethical implications of taking somebody's idea and building on it or using it. Um, and he made note, it's not. It's very open and honest about. Well, Stefano's very open and honest about the fact that he uses Glossika's idea, and I just kind of talked about, is that okay? Like, is that to what extent is that acceptable? And it's not that it's like you're stealing another person's idea, but is it I don't know, is it fair to kind of just borrow someone else's concept, I guess, and put it out there? So yeah, so anyway, that's I kind of I'd say that for an Italian learner, like you get a lot of use out of this. I interviewed him as well. I got some great answers out of him. Another thing that I mentioned, and this was a pertinent issue that came up, a pertinent video that came up, was something that Ollie Richards put out about how native speakers don't always know what's best for learners, and this is where I also said, like, in the case of Stefano, looking at Glossika and saying, well, there are a lot of problems with this, let me fix it. Is this a case of a native speaker kind of projecting what he thinks learners need? And I see this a lot with Arabic. A lot of Arabic teachers will do this as well. They'll say, well, like on the dialect issue, with modern standard Arabic, most Arabic teachers out there will say you must learn classical Arabic, you must learn modern standard Arabic first, and then go on to a spoken dialect. And they've got their own cultural or religious reasons for saying that, but we as learners know that that's not true, and so this is why I thought this was a really good issue to come up at this time, because is this, and I'm not saying that this is even the case for Ripeti Con Me, but maybe this is some native speaker projection. Like maybe it doesn't necessarily. Maybe a lot of the issues that he's raising are issues from his own perspective as a native speaker. So anyway, yeah, check it out. This is Ripeti Con Me. You can go to my website and get the link just here at fluentsimple.com. And if you've used it, let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.